Happy Halloween, and it falls right on Meditation Monday. So there's a lot of things where different energy pops out over the past weekend, right? Where people dress themselves up to be the inner self of themselves, right? Whether it's naughty or whether it's this costume or whether it's that costume, and making themselves into, really, it could be their inner goddess, their inner god, their inner soul. And Halloween is a time that it really takes into another space where people get to show off the many layers of their skin. And so it's just the same thing we do when we come down to meditation. And meditation is really a time to really center ourselves, really take ourselves way back in, and centering and clearing the mind. The mind is really the soul of so many connections of our emotions, the way we wake up in the morning, the way we think, and the way we feel. And a lot of times we forget, and we forget to reflect back is how to get back into our inner soul. It's not just only for Halloween that we come out with all these different characters, or there's different, feel of themselves. It's really a time to, because our soul is so colorful. For some reason, we have to make it this one singular idea of a person. And maybe, just maybe, if we decide to bring in this many different characters of who we are and what we are, can really create the true you. And, for me, I think I have dyslexia, to be truthful, because ever since I was a child going to kindergarten, I think very differently than everyone else. My brains function with many different languages that will shoot out. Sometimes it'll be Japanese first, sometimes it will be Pidgin, sometimes it would be English. And so there's many different things that happens in one's mind and how we speak, especially when we are learning about life as a kid. And so, I got the hardcore teacher who will always scold me and tell me, no, that is wrong, or that is wrong. But I had this one teacher who was so absolutely patient to give me the opportunity to figure out that it's okay to think differently. And so, sometimes when people, or more so society, looks upon, because we have to have a singular way of learning, a singular way of seeing how we all should march to the same drum. Well, you know what? That drum finally broke open in 2020. And when 2020 happened, that's when the portal of different mindsets starts to emerge. Different people with different thought frames, different, as you've seen in Halloween, is a great example, right? Where we can just go down to, the thrift shop and create our own design or create our own look. Or we can go down to, CVS, Walmart, and buy an already made costume. And so these are the things that is how our mindset is in ourselves. And, since today is Halloween, today is a time where we should go and seek, really, what do we really have in ourselves? I mean, this past week was really, I had to go to the ER, and it was like a trip. I don't know what happened, but I felt like a colliding of many different me coming in together. It's been a while since I relaxed and had a nice cocktail and had a very nice dinner, had very good company, and just talking about life It was so refreshing and it was so real that it felt, was this real or was this fake? Because it was so good to really talk about each other as them as a person, as a whole. You know, sometimes when we don't have the opportunity to really sit down and really gut ourselves out and talk about what is a good side of that person, or, you know, we have many bad side of ourselves, you know, but even though they have that bad side of themselves, whether they, you know, drink too much or smoke too much or, you know, eat too much, or these are creatures of bad habits that we pick up because we're always looking for some kind of dopamine. You know, sometimes people's like, oh, okay, while they're talking on the phone, they're working out because they need that dopamine. Or we have people who constantly, every 3.5 minutes, they have to go and look at their social media or something because they want to get a high of looking at something that gives them dopamine. And so, you know, you look at what you can do to give yourself that dopamine. And some of these dopamine, we need to change that bad habit. And so that's why it's really great that November is coming. November is a time which is 1-1. It's you against you. And this 30-day challenge is really about giving yourself these 3 things that can help you get rid of these bad habits. I, for one, had to punish myself after all these, you know, last minute things of doing things in September and October, and I miss out in really focusing and doing my yoga and my meditation and my garden and so many other things that was on my list that gets my dopamine high. And when that was taken away and I end up doing other things, that's when your inner side, your inner artwork is going to crash. And that's what happens. And so, you know, especially when we're going through some changes, some body changes, whether, you know, whether it's the season, you know, when it's coming colder, or whether we are going through pre or post menopause. This is for men and women. You know, we experience these different hormonal change, and these hormonal change really affects us mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so I'm gonna really, you know, when people say the art of focusing, is really about focusing on what kind of dopamine we're putting into ourselves, right? We can put in all different kind of dopamine, like I just mentioned, whether it's looking at our smartphone and checking it every 3.5 minutes, because it's been proven that's what people do as part of their habits. Or we are like, okay, we are on our break, we always have to do something. Instead of breathing and meditating during our work time, you know? People go after listening to gossip or smoking or grabbing their snacks or, you know, doing things that giving them this dopamine. And is it really going to be anything affected to yourself right there, right now? When you can take the opportunity to just take that dopamine called stillness, because we're so busy shuffling around and listening and doing all these other things, that 10,000 things that our minds, and that's what happens, that it just explodes. And you go through, you know, and I'm wondering, why am I going through this vortex dizziness? Why am I feeling this way? And, you know, at the end of the day, I end up, like I said, going to the ER because my mom, my friends are saying, oh my God, you better go. And I did. And I'm glad I did, because health is first and foremost. But then going through all of that was a trip. And when you come out, you get this. And I gotta say this again because this was a trip. That the reason I went on that Tuesday last week was for head pain. And they show you what's going on and so forth. But guess what? At the end of the day, I get a 69-year-old female foot. I looked at it and I'm like, I swear to God, that doesn't look like my head. Does it? No. And so it was more so of this lady's left ankle, and I already know who she is because, you know, there's only so many people at the ER, and I just had to laugh. She has my probably, I don't know if she might have my brain or not, but I have her left foot. And it just shows you that so much for the hospital ER because their mindset, I mean, that's unthinkable. I got calls from my friends in Japan and Dubai, and they're like, are you okay? And they're like, I can't believe that you got a foot. I just saw it on your, you know, so on your Instagram. And I said, yeah. She said, this is like, they better be paying for it. And so, you know, in a whole, you can laugh about it because it was literally a trip. I end up in a trip where things that I was doing, it was unexpected, and it was like a vortex of all these emotions and all these feelings that finally came out of myself that gave me the aha moment. You know, it gave me this feeling of being real. It gave me this feeling of just talking to that one person that knows exactly where I am in here, where I am in this place, where am I in this world right now. And sometimes we do need to just find that special one person. And, you know, and that's why I go into consulting, because consulting really helps me to achieve that happiness that I can give to people. You know, because it really takes a lot of skill to really listen and feel. And being an empath, you're able to do that. And before, you know, I felt that people used to get scared at me because I would walk into a room and I think, you know, I feel happy energy. And I said, oh, congratulations on your, you know, new grandchild. And they're like, how do you know? Oops, you know, and that was just, and then they get scared and they get offensive and they get, you know, step back from me because how do I know these things? Like, I'm some kind of spooky person, you know, but it's just that, you know, now I understand how to control that. Sometimes people don't take good news, but the way you say it may take it offensively, may take it not, because they're not in a place where they don't feel it was it? I don't know. And that used to always bother me, where something I would say that, you know what? This is my house. Don't come, you know, don't come over out of the blues and expect me to give you a warm welcome. Plan with me, talk with me, and we can have a great time. And that's what I do. You know, sometimes people expect a lot of things because they're on vacation or because, you know what, it's my day, I want to go and I want to do this. It's good and it's a great energy. But also think about the other person, and when you do come into their space and when you do things that they already had something in their mindset to do. And so life goes on, but sometimes people take that negatively, and say, wow, that person was really stuck up, and who does she think she is, or who does he think he is? You know, because it didn't go their scenario, their way. I mean, I used to have people like sometimes just jump over the fence and think it was okay to do that because they're over there trying to help me do my yard or do my this. And, you know, I tell them that, you know, don't do that because my dog will come after you and bite the bejeety out of you. Luckily, that never happened. And so, you know, things of certain things that people do, really, that's where mindfulness really comes in. And that's how meditation comes in. Because sometimes when we think that we are doing something good or something grand or something to help someone, you know, like, you know, when I hear somebody say, oh no, I need help, I need this and that, I'm always first to offer something. Are you okay? You know, is there something I can help you with? You know, I'm free on this time and I'll be able to help you. But then it end up, some people may just take that being, I don't know. And so that's why we really need to focus on this 30-day challenge, is really using this meditation gift that we have. And this meditation gift is really, number one, is get sleep. I swear to God, this past weekend, I slept. I woke up and I went back into deep sleep. The other day I woke up at 10 o'clock. The other day I woke up at 9 o'clock. And I really had some good deep sleep. I went to bed early and I really focusing on getting that habit back, because that's when you get that sleep, your cognate mind starts to really relax instead of being on this hustle mode. Number two is always really regulate your diet, you know, and it was so nice. I was just telling my girlfriend in Japan, I'm like, she's like, how are you? Okay. Yes, I am. I lost 4 pounds in that 1 week because I switched my mindset, decided to get more sleep instead of hustling to the end of the wee hour at 2, 3 o'clock morning where I can't sleep, and then I wake up and I have 3 hours of sleep. And I think that's what combined it with all of that happened, with huge different energy that makes me, you know, that the body was overworked, you know. And so that's why it's so important, is really focusing on your diet. If you are not hungry, grab something that is nutrition. Like, grab things that will fill you, but just don't eat between, because we think it's our break. We think it's time to eat. We are bored. We need our dopamine. Get that shit out of that mindset, because that only makes you fatter. I mean, listen, I just stick with my banana shake and fish, vegetables. If I was to eat something, I would grab my banana bread that has nuts, you know. And so those, and I lost 4 pounds. I was like, woo, okay, I'm on it. So I'm getting myself prepared for November, which is tomorrow, and do this because November is, like I said, 1/1 is 30 days. And most of all, number 3 is exercise. You know what? The last 2 months, I did yoga, but I didn't do yoga the way I supposed to have done yoga, because that gives me an everyday lift of energy, and that proved it. You know, it was like I was like detoxing so well at 118 the last 2 days. The last, you know, the other day was 122, and it's super hot, and people's like, you're crazy. And the thing is, you know, I was told you can have 90 minutes of hell, the rest will be heaven. And you will feel that change because you know how to push yourself to a limit where everything else becomes blank canvas. And that's when you are in deep concentration, deep meditation, and deep feeling of your powerhouse, your superpower that you're stretching, because it's stretching the mind, body, and soul. And when you are in that zone, it's like a gasoline tank. It's like the breath becomes your fuel. And that's how it just really burns into who you are. And so yoga for me, everyone have different ways. Some people may just work out. Some people may just run. Some people may go on, different jiu-jitsu, doing things to just blood, sweat, and take out all of that energy of we need to replenish ourselves. And so really take this day to meditate and really write down, because I wrote down in my book, which should be over by November, and getting ready for the new year, because we really don't have much time to finish it off this year. I gave myself a new challenge. I bought some roller skates because it really a great body workout, but it brings back memory of great energy when we were young. And always remember, you're never too late to do anything in your life, because life is just a journey, and it's how we really breathe in and breathe out. The colors and the vision, and you know what? Start working on your dream, your passion, and your reason to live. What is your purpose? What is what you want to do? And it's time to really find that and seek that during meditation. And so Meditation Monday turned out to be a lecture Monday, but it talks about how meditation can give you all of that. And how maybe if you want to join on this 30-day challenge starting tomorrow, it's starting to really key point, especially in the morning, is when the best time to learn. And when you learn something, you start to activate it. Okay? So I always use the hard task or things that I need to learn and seek deep into it. Then I can activate the rest of the day to give that energy and learn to progress, because the thing is, you can't expect boom, 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 boom. Let me tell you, I've been doing my micro bubble for the last almost 20 years where, oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe and also do our shampoo challenge at cocojorchannel.com. And really, sometimes, my team gives me all these scripts and things to read, and like right now, I'm so passionate about something. I learn and gain that knowledge that really contents just will come at you, will give you, because that's your gift, that's your superpower, and that's the knowledge that you seek deep in to learn. And so really this week I have back-to-back appointments, and it's starting to go. My hard work is getting really recognized by veterinarians and people all over the world, that really the optimal health is really go naturally. You can learn more about it and get your free Itchy Sticky guidebook at cocojor.com, cocojor.com, and learn as well as earn through our CocoJor system. So you take care. Don't forget to hit the like button, and most of all, subscribe to our YouTube. And I'll see you in our social media platform. And once again, have a wonderful, blissful, and safe Halloween. And make sure to really start to meditate and feel that energy, because that blank canvas of that 5 minutes or 15 minutes will be a world of color when you get awakened. You take care and aloha.